Hello and welcome to this video to release tension and tightness around the neck and the shoulders. And we'll end with some deliberate slow breathing as well before we move on from there. So when you're ready, you could find a comfortable seat of your choice. You could sit on the floor or a chair. You could sit up on a pillow or a blanket. Anything that helps keep the spine relatively upright and long during these stretches. Now finding your seat, and then beginning to anchor or root down into the support underneath you, whether it's a floor or a chair. Your arms could be resting, your hands could be resting in your lap or on your legs. Maybe a steady, slow breath here to your comfort level. And perhaps even early on in the practice, as we are, you could feel for a little release around your face and your jaw, softening your shoulders down. Again, maybe smoothing out your breath. To begin, we'll work with the neck. So taking right ear, when you're ready, right ear to right shoulder. And you could pause here. You might move your head around a little bit to feel for the best angle or way to work through the open side of the neck. Maybe reaching your opposite arm down and away. My cat Milo, who insisted on being down here when I was doing the video. So finding these little add-ons, if you like, your eyes can be opened or closed. And then when you're ready, taking your chin down to your chest, maybe sweeping your chin side to side. If you had your hand out, you could pull it into your lap. Maybe sweeping chin side to side. You could also pause with your chin, just reaching a little bit down towards your chest. Center. And if you like, left ear to left shoulder or opposite ear to opposite shoulder, same idea. The sides could be different. You might make different choices on the sides, maybe moving the head around, maybe reaching your opposite arm down and away. Steady, full breathing to your comfort level, moving in a way that feels right to you right now. And then bringing your head back to center. And from here, we'll take either a half or a full head circle. So you could start to come into a half circle, and smoothing that movement out essentially. Could be half, could be a full circle if you want to go for it. If you want to take your head back, you could think more reaching chin up to the ceiling and stretching through the front of the throat versus dropping the head back. So any final moves here for your neck that feel good in the form of a half full circle. Whatever pace feels right to you. Continuing to feel for some length, perhaps in your spine. And then in your own time, returning your gaze back to center. From here, we'll sweep the arms straight up. So arms will reach up to the ceiling. You could option here, interlace your fingers and flip the palms up. If that's uncomfortable in your shoulders, you can keep the hands separate. So either way, and then feeling for a little lift under your shoulder blades. Stretch up. It can be subtle and gentle. You could use a little muscular activation to facilitate that. And then we'll pull, everything will stay the same, and we'll pull shoulders down. So lifting the shoulders a little bit up by the ears, and then gently drawing them down. Maybe two more like that. And a stretch up, and then a release of the shoulders down. Maybe one more. Releasing the shoulders down. From here, we'll come into cactus arms. So creating a cactus arm, elbow and shoulder roughly in a line. If your elbows are a little lower, that's okay. We'll feel for this movement. And then from here, you can press your hands a little bit back. You could squeeze your shoulder blades together if that feels okay to you. And then when you're ready, draw your palms, forearms, elbows to touch. So inhale, could be inhaling to open. You can breathe however you like. And pulling palms, forearms, elbows together. We'll take a few more like that, and feel free to go at your own pace. With goalposts or cactus arms, just pressing, opening through the chest, hands come back, and then drawing palms together. If your forearms and elbows don't touch, that's okay too. One more time, if you're still in it. We'll meet back at the beginning, cactus arm position, and then from here, rotating palms down and back as your elbows stay lifted. And adjusting as you need to. Could be inhale as palms open up, and then maybe exhale as you rotate palms down and back. Find a pace that works for you. A couple more. Of course, he's gonna meow down here. I'm in my basement. We'll meet back at the starting position. Maybe a pause. You could squeeze your shoulders together one more time. If it's comfortable to you, you could lift your gaze a little and feel for some opening through your chest. And then we'll release the arms down. You can shake that out. That one builds a little heat as well. From here, we'll take the arms out into a T shape. And to start, making a little loose fist and then circling out your wrists. So arms are in a T shape. If you feel a little too much intensity heat-wise around your shoulders, you can release and shake it out again for a few more minutes. Otherwise, we'll just make some wrist circles. And now pressing or releasing your fingertips up to the ceiling is if you're pressing your hands away from each other. Think like a warrior two arm with fingertips facing up. And then for a moment, feel for, in your mind's eye, breathing from your right palm across your chest, and then exhale from left palm to right. So just in your mind's eye, inhale right palm, and then exhale from left palm to right. Just a little breathing visualization here. If this doesn't work for you, you can just let it go and breathe however you like. Maybe two more if you're in it. Inhale right palm, feeling the energy come across your chest. Exhale from left palm to right. Maybe one more time. We'll release the hands down. Now, releasing your hands down to the tops of your shin, I know buddy, the tops of your knees, and we'll pull the chest open, inhale. You could now think seated cow pose, again drawing your shoulder blades together, lifting your gaze, arching your back a little, and then exhale to round. Spread your shoulder blades, maybe tucking your chin, maybe tucking your tailbone under. So when you're ready, peeling your chest open, and exhale to round. Two more if you're in this one. Seated cow and cat, just rounding the back, and then opening the chest. You could make it a small movement, or you could go a little bit bigger, maybe one more. And then we'll come back to center. And now into some shoulder rolls. So rolling your shoulders, you could roll the shoulders back and forward. So find any shoulder roll movement here that feels like a release of tension around the tops of the shoulders, around the collarbones, again with the scapula. Then you can soften that down, shake it out a little bit. From here, we'll sweep the arms up again, going for another stretch out. This time we'll come into a twist. So lengthening up through your side bodies, and then in your own time, twisting over to the right, releasing your hands down, and then gazing to your comfort level over your back shoulder. So front hand to front knee, back hand behind for support, looking over the back shoulder. You could look to the side a little if that feels better on your neck. And then speaking of your neck, you can stay here, or you can keep your torso as it is and shift your gaze forward, and then drop the chin down a little bit. So a bonus neck stretch here if you want to go for it. You might find on this one you could move your chin around in the same manner that we've been doing and see if there's a better angle for you, or if the movement feels good. You might just keep your head still looking over towards the other side. So anything goes here that works for the back of your neck. And when you're ready, if you're in that one, you could return your gaze over your back shoulder. Maybe one more breath here in the twist, and coming out to reach your arms back up if you want to go that way. Maybe a stretch up, and then twisting to the other side. You're welcome to release your hands down where it feels most comfortable to you. Could shift your gaze a little bit over your back shoulder now. And continuing to find some length through the spine and softening through the shoulders. Sometimes in these twists, the shoulders want to crunch up, so you could check that, and if you need to roll them down a little, you're welcome to do so. And from here, you could keep your torso as it is, or you could shift your gaze forward and drop your chin down, and then on this side, see what feels right. Maybe you're pausing in one space, maybe you are moving your chin around. So whatever angle here that works is great if you're in this. And if you're in the next stretch, you can return your gaze back behind you. We'll come back to center one final time reaching the arms up. Could find a lengthening up again, feel some stretch through your side body, maybe a little opening through your chest. And then release your hands down to your legs. Final move, we'll come to hands and knees. So I think, interestingly, the feet can also be connected to tension in the shoulders and the neck. So we'll work with the feet here just very briefly. So in a hands and knees tabletop position, you can tuck your toes, and then from here, starting to sink your hips back to your heels. So you can decide how much engagement you want to bring to this. If it's maybe you're just shifting back a little tiny bit, that could be enough. Or you could shift your hips back all the way back towards your heels. You can pause or you can come in and out of it. So you could rock a little forward and then shift your hips back to whatever degree feels right for the stretch. There's nothing to force here. With the undersides of the feet can often be pretty tight. So you can just see what range of motion works best to feel for a little release underneath your feet. Maybe another breath or so here. And then maybe making your way back to tabletop. If you had your toes tucked, you could let that go and maybe tap your feet on the mat. Release that out. Final move, just shifting the hip side to side. Shifting hip side to side, gaze could follow. Gaze could follow for a little more release around the neck and the shoulders. Now getting into the side body a little as well, and the hips. It's all connected. And then coming back to tabletop, and we'll come to a seat or to lying down, but if there's any other move you want to take right here, maybe you want some cows and cats or a child's pose. So any final movement you want to take here in this orientation, if you're in it, go for it. So it could be cows and cats, child's pose, could be some figure eights. So any final move that works best for you. And then we'll let that go and you can come back to a seat, or you could lie down. So either in a seat or lying down, or in any other shape you want to take actually for this. So I'm going to stay seated, but you could, again, you could lie down on your back, you could lie down on your stomach. So this breathing, we'll do some slow breathing, and we'll see if we can orient around the movement of the rib cage and the abdomen. So get a sense of that and some fuller, deeper breathing. So find your, whatever shape you want to take for this part of the practice. And your eyes can be opened or closed. You might begin to just bring some awareness to your breathing. See for this one, in the spirit of neck and shoulder tension, if you can allow the shoulders to soften, allow the sides of the neck to be at ease, face and jaw. Put your gaze wherever you like. You can keep your eyes opened or closed. And then notice your breath. Maybe you're already there, but continue just to notice your breathing as it is. You're welcome to soften your abdominal muscles. Sometimes they can be grippy. And then you can do this just in your mind's eye, or you could use your hands and take your hands around your rib cage. So it works lying down or seated or however you're doing this. If you're on the floor, you might just have your hands on the tops of your ribs. And then we'll inhale and see if you can feel. Inhale, rib cage will expand. A little focus on the lateral movement on the rib cage. Abdominal muscles will come along, or the abdominal area will lift slightly. Then exhale, see if you can release. Is it possible to let any engagement there go? Muscles soften, rib cage comes in as the lungs deflate and the air comes out. So think inhale, expand. And then exhale, release. You might have your hands around your rib cage. A belt or a strap actually can work for this one too, if you just feel that sensation of the rib cage expanding. And then let that go. A gentle release. With as little kind of effort as you can, full exhale. You could take a few exhales out your mouth if that's useful. We'll see if we can just coax out slower, deeper breath, maybe a little bit of a longer exhale. Feeling the expansion and the rise of the abdomen. So expansion of the ribs, abdominal area, expands, and then exhale, release. If you have an ujjayi practice, you could use that here as well. Attempting to keep your shoulders at ease, muscles around the neck and jaw settled for this, so it's not so much of a vertical movement, more of a horizontal movement. So these accessory muscles, breathing muscles of the neck and tops of the shoulders, a little more at ease and feeling most of the action around the rib cage and the abdominal area. I'm going to take another couple rounds and soften your jaw. Tongue is resting at the roof of the mouth with the tip just behind the teeth. And if you feel complete with that practice and you're ready to let it go, you're welcome to begin to return to your natural breath. If you want to keep going with that, you can certainly do that breathing practice for as long as you like. If you're heading out, you can just return to your natural breath. And we'll close out the practice. We'll close it out with an Om and 3 Shantis, and then I'll close with the loving kindness or metta prayer, and we'll call it a practice. If you want to join me, you're welcome to. Maybe bringing your palms together to touch. Connected in this gesture of gratitude and peace and centeredness. Inhaling for Om. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you